Traders, let's jump in and have a look and see how you would trade volume profile and the LVNs, or the low volume nodes, that are produced by the SBG volume profile indicator. So here we go. Here's an example chart we have of the natural gas contract. Now, let me explain what we're looking at here. This gray area up here is produced by volume profile, and it is the value area. So this down here, this level is the low value area low, the edge of this gray area into the black. Above that is the value area, and you can actually turn on, if you like, you can turn on the edges. So the edge is this blue area. The point of control is right here in the value area, and the value area high is up here. But we're going to turn those off for now, because what we're looking at is low volume nodes. Now, low volume nodes are areas of the profile which show exceedingly low volume areas, like this little dip here. These histogram bars are volume transacted at price. So a high amount of volume is transacted at this price, a low amount of volume is transacted here. A low amount of transactions are occurring here, high amount are at this price. So you can see that, but I'm going to turn off the profile. And what we see is these blue and gray areas. A bigger, brighter blue is a stronger low volume node, and the thin, wispy gray area is the weaker of the low volume nodes. And what we're going to do is we're going to look for setups of a retrace, a break through a level, and a retrace back to that level, and a continuation move. And that's how you trade the low volume node. So let's take a look at it here on the buy setup. So first of all, price is well below the value area. So the distance from here to here is significant. You don't want to be right on the value area low or high, because price tends to react at that area. So this is the value area is where buyers and sellers like to transact. This is the popular area up here. So that means there's typically a lot of back and forth action. Well, we don't want to trade in there, because this back and forth is not what we want. We want a good strong move. What you want to do is look for areas where price has exceeded the value area and is retracing back into it. Now this area down here is a very unpopular area to trade. It's an area where people are not comfortable, buyers and sellers are not comfortable trading, and you want to look for that move back into value. So again, the first step is make sure you've got a little distance between the current price and the value area low or high. Second is you want the moving average to be moving up. This is not a counter trend trade. You do want to have this in a direction upward. So in this case for a buy. So the price is moving up, and it retraces down to this pretty nice significant value area right here. That's what we want. We want to look for entry in this area, right in this region. Now, thirdly, the stop loss box touches the LVN below. So the stop loss box is produced by volume profile, and that's this maroon colored box. This is the stop loss region. So one of the parameters you have in the indicator is how big do you want your stop loss to be. In this case, this is a 20 tick stop in the natural gas contract. And that's helpful, because then you can set an ATM strategy template to trade at a 20 tick stop. So that's what we're looking for here. So you put your entry in right at the right hand of this box. So this box doesn't print until that bar, this little blue bar, has touched the moving average. So you don't see anything until price hits that moving average. And then this box will print, and it prints about, I think, about 5 bars prior to that bar. So it will back print just this area. So that's where we're trading right here. This is where you'd go long, and your stop is 20 ticks down. And then this is the proposed target box. So we have a setting in the indicator that lets you control the reward to risk. And I believe the minimum reward to risk here is 3 to 1. So this is a 20 tick stop. It's going to look for something at least 60 ticks away. And in this case, we found a good significant level 100 ticks away. So it's a $1,000 trade. So you're risking $200 to gain 1,000. So that's our trade here. We want a good reward to risk ratio. So we go along here and we do ride it out until we hit target. You could actually have ridden it out further, but that's where we got out and we hit target. Let's see if there's any other setups here. I don't think there was. Let's go over, now some of you don't trade natural gas, so let's take a look at the micro NASDAQ in this case. So here's the NASDAQ trade. Again, we want to be looking for a couple things. We want to be far from the uh, value area. These are sort of close, as you can see. So this is probably not a great example. It was hard to find some of the recent action in micro NASDAQ, but let's consider it in other ways. So we are in some congestion here. The stop loss box doesn't quite straddle a low volume node, which would have been down here. And we see some congestion up here. Again, we are close to the value area as well, so that kind of discounts this trade. We push up though through that LVN. We push up into the value area and we retrace back to a weaker LVN right here. And that is another possible trade, going long here or going long here, because both of them do straddle this area. We do cross the value area and we do hit target. So that's, I'm going to say like a 70% setup. Now again, since we're getting 60 ticks of risk and 307 ticks of gain here, so this is a 5.1 to 1 reward to risk. You can see that at the top of the text. This is a 4.6 to 1 reward to risk. It hits target. This is also a 4.3 to 1 reward to risk, and it hits target. Now, I would recommend only taking the first one, so you would only be long here. But, gains like that, 4.6 to 1, will make up for any of these losses that you might have incurred back here, like in this area. Let's take a look at the ES. Now, the ES, okay, so here we go. We push far out of value, far below the value area. We go and now we're tracing back into it. This stop loss box is straddling the low volume node, as we see here, this low volume node right there. We've pushed up, we go back into it, and now we're going to be targeting the value area low, which is a great place to do it. So we go long here, we put our stop down in this area, and we hit, well, we might have hit the stop. I would have probably looked at maybe moving our stop to break even or so in this area, in this zone. So that could have been a break even trade, or if you had part of your position get off here. Interesting, this low volume node might have been coming into play. But here's another great reaction. This is really a solid trade right here, reacting off of this low. You want to see a good reaction off of LVNs. That's an interesting trade. Now, the setup didn't quite occur here. We're looking for a retrace back into this moving average, but I would have been perhaps going in a very small position during this move up. Again, it didn't signal it because it didn't quite meet one of our criteria is to retrace and hit the moving average, but it just didn't do that. Here's one possible trade for sure. Now we're getting closer to value, but going long on a retrace back into that low volume node does hit target. Now this situation here is 2.6 to 1 based on 16 ticks of stop. We're looking at a 2.6 to 1 target, and it is achieved by hitting that value area. We're in the value area here, so there's no trade to count there. Who trades gold here? Well, here's some gold setups on the current market. So one of our criteria, again, is we want to be a little bit of distance between the entry and low value area low. This is right at value area low. Plus the moving average is just sloping down and down and down and down. We want to see a break upward of the MA. So the MA finally starts moving upward here, and we're going to buy on a retrace back into this LVN. Now, this is a very respected LVN, so I'd be interested in buying right at that area. That's where the meat of the move is. Again, you're straddling, technically you're straddling two value area low levels, with this one stop loss box. Going long here. Now we're moving up. This is the current market here. We're not at target yet, but certainly 60 ticks target. We're targeting 429 tick of profit, and the market is moving up. Point of control, the value area high and the value area low. You want to be considering getting out at the point of control. These levels are significant. They're the most popular levels where trading occurs. So sometimes it is difficult to break through the point of control. Now you could see a rejection off the point of control and move back downwards. So you want to be nimble. But of all these trades that are potentially here, we're not filtering them out for you. We're giving you all possibilities. This is really the one that I'd be interested in. Any of these qualify as well because, again, we did move down. We're moving and we have some support here in this area. But that's one of the nice things too. Also, you can hover over these P&L boxes. This is a 7-to-1 trade. If you had gone long here or here, you're actually still in the market because your stop is down below that entry point. Okay, now very few of you trade copper. I enjoy trading copper. So here's one. Now this setup, we're kind of at the value area. Not too excited about that. This one we're retraced down in this level. I think it's a strong move down. I wouldn't be too excited to go long yet. This is a move up. We go down here into this area. I would consider possibly going long here. That would have been a stop out. But this one now, we start seeing an inability to push below this level. It's a good strong reaction off of this strong lowest priced LVN. Going long here, we do hit target, come pretty close to it. Again, we're going down, again, testing that LVN. We're going long in this area. I would put my stop a little further away than $100 in this. Copper can be a little jumpy. I would put my stop down here. You don't want to put a stop above this area of support because price could certainly move down and hit that area of support. So that's our coverage of how you would trade now the version 1.1 signals of VolumeProfile. Feel free to email us if you have any questions. You can reach us anytime at ben@sbgtradingcorp.com.